How's it going, Bear Bull traders? Robert H here. I'm going to do a quick recap. Haven't done one in a while. It's a trade I took on Morgan Stanley. So I shorted it here during the midday at around 145. As you can see, it's my entry. And you would probably ask yourself, why would you short it? Isn't that just chop? And it is. It looks like chop here, right? But if you take a look at the bigger picture on things here, it was forming a rounded top on the 15-minute chart. And it couldn't get above this 47.89, this level ahead. Where does that come from? That's a moving average on the daily chart. That's the 50 SMA. That's very strong, right? So if it can't get above that, then it's going to show some weakness here. It's topping out. And if you see on the 1-minute chart, as you can see, this is the 3-star reversal, or the Robert H. the Great reversal. 9 and the 20 lost the 50, and it's making new 15-minute lows here, this area, and I decided to go short. Now, Adventure Dog LA mentioned and in one of his previous recaps, sometimes on these top reversals, if you preempt it and take it when the 9 crosses the 20, you get a much better entry, as long as the 50 is incoming, right? So if we take a quick look here, this is what the 9 crossed the 20 here, and then the 50 was so close that obviously this collapse here probably would have just brought it down. So that would have been a pretty good entry there. And here the 9 and 20 lost the 50. It was still staying low, and it kind of just poking around. I was like, I don't think I'm going to get an entry back here at 47.75. I don't think it's going to come back. So I think on the next spike up, on this little retracement here, I think I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to put my stop. I think where did I put my stop here? Was it somewhere here, 75-ish, whatever, something like that, 10-15 cent stop, and shorted it right there. So now I'm in the trade, right? Great entry, decent setup. Let's focus on exits. Now, exits are often overlooked. I've mentioned this before. What's the point of being patient, waiting for that setup, getting the best entry, if you're not going to get a good exit, right? If you're going to be just taking profit after 30 seconds and running out of shares for the final move, it's a waste, in my opinion, right? So we need to be focusing on our exits. And I know that's kind of like the cherry on top. One, it's like a foundation. 1, finding the setup. 2, getting that entry. And then 3 is mastering exits. Because without exits, this is all meaningless, right? So where are my targets? Let's take a look here. I had 47.30. Where did I get that? That might have been, I don't even know where that comes from. Might be on the daily chart. Yeah, I think it's the daily chart here, this bottom area that it found support. So that's my first target, was 30. I took a partial there. Let's actually take a look at the 5-minute chart. It's a little clearer. And it also coincided with this moving average, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 30 minutes before my first partial. And then I had one at 47.20-ish, which was this moving average, right? So now I've taken my second partial, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, whatever, the rest is house money. Let's might as well just get to VWAP, right? Because this is a downtrend. Whatever it decides to do, if it's going to do a pullback and stop me out, not a big deal. I've taken most of my profit, but you got to have some conviction in the trade here, right? Clearly bearish, and these pullbacks are just meant to scare people, or the pros they'll add on these pullbacks, right? Because if you look at the bigger picture again, this 9 and 20 on the 5-minute chart have now lost the 50 here, right? Honestly, if I was had a little more confidence, I would have added here, because this is a very bearish crossover. Anyways, I had my last partial here right above the VWAP, took that off, and then I was all out, right? So I think that was basically it. It bounced off the VWAP and went back. So that's basically the trade. A little top reversal, 3-star reversal, decent entry, not at the very top, but you got to be, it's really dangerous to be shorting uptrends. You got to make sure that it's failing to make new highs, and there's some sign a reversal is going to take place, and a lot of information on the 1-minute chart can help you gauge that. These crossovers here, 5-minute chart, once it lost these MAs, and even this is a crossover here, the whole picture is painting bearish, right? So I'm not in a rush to get out. If the whole picture is telling me, the daily's telling me this thing's peaked, this is telling me this thing's peaked, 1-minute chart's telling me this is peaked, 5-minute chart, this bunch of chop consolidation, it's it's not going up, then I have full belief in the trade. We're getting back to VWAP as long as we can get through these moving averages. So just take partial at targets, right? Don't just take partial at arbitrary numbers or when your finger gets itchy. Take them at levels. If you believe in the trade and you believe in your setups and you believe in your abilities, then you should have the patience to wait for these levels and these targets. So that's a really good risk to reward. Sorry, I'm rambling here. This was my risk. This was my reward. right? And obviously partialing along the way. So even the first partial, that was my reward, well beyond 2-1 right off the first exit. And gravy and cherry on top. Long ramble. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the chat room.